the elite special operations unit in the COG army, serving directly under the chairman. We are talking about the Onyx Guard. Full of aura, but were only seen in minimal amounts in the Gears of War games, but when they were seen, they would usually be killed shortly after. But the Onyx Guard were a huge unit in the early Locust War era, as opposed to pretty much being wiped out at the end of the war 17 years later. So as always, I'm your host Abz, and let's discuss, will the Onyx Guard return in Gears of War eday? Now, the Onyx Guard were seen in a greater capacity in Gears of War Judgment, during the events of the destruction of Halvor Bay, 6 weeks after eday. But this was in the city where the Halvor Bay Military Academy was located, the place where the Onyx Guard were trained. But many weeks prior on Emergence Day itself, their unit would have been much larger and stronger, as the COG army took extremely heavy damage on eday and after. The Onyx Guard were known to operate at the sole discretion of the chairman during the Locust War. For instance, in Gears of War 3, they are seen alongside Chairman Richard Prescott. But when eday took place, they would have been operating directly under Chairman Thomas Daliel. Remember the COG Island bunker by the name of Azura that we saw in Gears of War 3? Well, when eday occurred, the COG began to evacuate the elite citizens of Seren society. For instance, key scientists and political leaders for safety rather than research, and then would use cover stories expressing that they were kidnapped and then killed by the Locust. However, in reality, they were relocated and stationed on the city island of Dreams by the Onyx Guard, ordered directly by Chairman Daliel. Meanwhile, the COG's infantry would be slaughtered on the front lines, with citizens also being killed in devastating numbers. The evacuation of key figures of Sera continued throughout the Locust War. After Chairman Daliel passed away, Prescott became chairman and was given an encrypted disk containing top secret information of Azura Island, its layout and how to get there. So the legacy of the Onyx Guard evacuating key figures and being stationed at the island continued until the end of the war. But since it is Gears of War eday, I think it could potentially be an idea to see cutscenes where the COG leadership is in panic and chaos, and then Chairman Daliel orders for his family, key scientists, politicians, and other prominent figures of Seren society to be relocated to Azura Island, with COG media outlets sharing the story that the Locust kidnapped and killed them. The Onyx Guard would begin to carry this out, and that then ties the reason as to why the Onyx Guard aren't really seen throughout the Locust War, with standard infantry like Marcus and co wondering where the hell the Onyx Guard are. And I would say this would be a great opportunity to showcase Jeremiah Keegan during these events, but he was actually taken from his unit to serve directly under Chairman Prescott as the Locust War progressed. He was relocated to Azura, but this was at least a year after the Locust War began, not on Emergence Day or shortly after. So that kind of counts him out. But I think if an Onyx Guard character does appear, then Paul Jory is the best shout, as he was the commander of the Onyx Guard. He was 30 years old when Emergence Day took place, and he had a similar personality to Hoffman when it came to the well-being of his gears. Except Jory was happy to accept the lies and deception that came with the higher levels of the COG government. So what I think is that you could potentially have a cutscene of Chairman Daliel ordering Captain Paul Jory to evacuate key citizens, as well as any other shady things that the chairman wanted doing, and then seeing Paul Jory's team leaving to get the job done. Like I said in previous videos, I think it's a must to see the COG leadership's reaction to Emergence Day and seeing them in chaos as they tried to plot their next move against the Locust as the Horde marched on. And then seeing the COG's dirty secrets take place, which no one knows about, apart from a few people, until it is all uncovered many years later in the Gears of War trilogy. In my opinion, that would be absolute cinema, and would really circle back to a lot of great lore, whilst also expanding on the COG government, the military structure, and the Onyx Guard. So hopefully we do get to see the Onyx Guard return in Gears of War eday. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more similar content like this, and a big special thank you to the YouTube and Patreon members for your additional support as always. I'm your host Abz, and I will catch you guys next time.